Researchers do a lot these days. Researchers found new life 6 gazillion feet underwater. Researchers found alien life on the moon. Researchers found the cure to cancer. Oh, never mind. This time, researchers grabbed 500,000 ChatGPT conversations and said, let's see what people actually use this thing for. And buried in that data, like a tick that's been feeding for 6 months, they found one guy. One specific, undiagnosed, uniquely committed guy. And his entire contribution to the field of artificial intelligence research was asking ChatGPT to make a girl from DOKI Literature Club give birth. Not once, not twice, thousands of times. Thousands of times over several months, like it was a part-time job he refused to get paid for. I found out about this the same way I find out about everything else. While I was taking a shit and doom scrolling. This shit made me regret eating Indian food, and this shit convinced me we deserve extinction. Let's talk about it. Here's the setup, right? There's a dataset called WildChat, a free ChatGPT interface hosted on Hugging Face. No account needed, but in exchange you agree your conversations might get anonymously handed over to researchers. The paper, titled AI Fiction in the Wild, was published on June 24, 2026 and was a collaboration between 3 students from different universities in the US. The data gathered from the study was around 500,000 conversations that were collected between April 2023 and May 2024. Researchers went through it, using AI to help filter out anything that counted as fiction. Stories, roleplay, scripts, fanfic, erotica. Then had actual humans double check the sorting. Out of that pile, about 1/3 were fiction. Half of that fiction was fanfic. Now, most of these fiction writers were what the study calls story cyclers. Write a story, get bored, move to a new story, repeat. This is normal human behavior. This is fine. This is you and me. But then you've got the infinite story demanders. These are the guys who find one very specific flavor of insanity and refuse to let it go for months. And leading the pack, the valedictorian of infinite story demanders, the single most productive person in this entire dataset, an anonymous legend who opened up ChatGPT and essentially said, DOKI Literature Club, Natsuki, pregnancy, labor, right now, go. Over and over, thousands of times, across several months. The prompt he would give was always some version of a dramatic scene of one of the DDLC girls, usually Natsuki, mid-contraction while giving birth that just cuts off. And the job he gave the AI, every single time, was to finish the moment. And ChatGPT, bless its neural little heart, just kept delivering thousands of times. The researchers, by the way, note that, quote, the user generated thousands of variations on a story where one of the girls of visual novel DOKI Literature Club, usually Natsuki, gave birth, usually to a daughter named Sakura. And then they said, Sakura may be a reference to a character from the Naruto manga and anime series. The researchers helpfully noted. I don't think the Naruto lore was competing for real estate in that man's demented brain. Now, if you haven't played DOKI Literature Club, you may be sitting there going, okay, that's weird, but sure, cute anime girl has cute anime baby, whatever. And if you are like that, we need more people like you who mind their own business. I'm not gonna spoil it because if you know, you know. And if you don't, you deserve to walk in blind like the rest of us did in 2017. But I will say this, DOKI Literature Club is not structurally, emotionally, or spiritually a game about pregnancy, labor, delivery, none of that. It is a deeply unsettling piece of software wearing a cute girl dating sim as a skin suit. The fact that the internet's collective response to dramatic psychological horror visual novel was write fanfiction about the anime high school girls tells you everything you need to know about the fandom as a concept. Here's some stats so you understand how not alone this guy is, statistically, even if he's extremely alone in every other sense.
Can you keep it down? I'm trying to moderate Reddit here.
You are such a great Reddit moderator!
Of all the fiction conversations, about half were fanfic. Around 1/4 were flagged straight up explicit, and almost 1/3 flagged toxic. Zoom out to the entire dataset, and explicit content alone still accounts for 10% of everything anyone's ever typed into this thing. What's crazy is 2% of fiction generating users were responsible for over 80% of all the fiction conversations in the entire dataset. Roughly 200 out of 10,000 users, cranking out 150,000 prompts with one hand and their dicks in the other. 200 people who, if unionized, could bring the concept of getting some fresh air, to its knees. And when they looked at what franchises got requested the most across the whole study, ahead of Naruto, ahead of League of Legends, ahead of a game called Freedom Planet that I looked up and immediately figured out why it was in the top percentile, sitting at number 1, more requested than anything in the dataset, Doki Doki Literature Club. One franchise with one guy doing an unreasonable amount of heavy lifting.
I've already made the fanfic. What? You have to finish the prompt.
Oh, hell no! Hell no!
So naturally, when this story got picked up, the DDLC fandom found out that one of their own had been quietly running an underground birthing clinic inside ChatGPT for 6 months, and the reaction was about what I expected. One guy said,
Nigga could have at least done Yuri, but Natsuki? New levels of low we're witnessing.
which I agree with, because who in their right mind is picking Natsuki ever? Me and everyone else were thinking that Yuri would have topped the leaderboard by far. Somebody else said, doesn't even surprise me. Also, Natsuki? Come on now, have a little class. As if there's a tier list of which fictional anime girl it would have been more dignified to pick for this. And then, one poor soul posted that they joined the DDLC fandom only 3 days prior to this news story. Their welcome package was thousands upon thousands of fanfics about the characters going into labor. What a great first impression. Whatever you may think of them, fanfiction communities run on people encouraging each other, discovering new writers, and building something together. When you're 40 and your bookworm wife starts reading tall ripped buff guy who committed war crimes under these sheets, someone had to think up all 1,439 pages of that book. Then an agent had to convince a publisher it was worth printing. An editor had to shape it, a copy editor had to proofread it, and then a publisher had to physically put it into the world. In the entire process of that book being published, there was at least 2 people, because I can't count any higher than that. This is the exact opposite of that. It's one guy and a vending machine that dispenses infinite babies. One guy who turned a cute girl horror game into a maternity ward and never looked back. Somewhere out there he's reading this news, nodding, and starting the next AI prompt. If you like this video and want to see more like it, let me know, because I haven't done this kind of video before. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Watch more videos.